Hi everyone, thanks for being with me. I want to talk today about Gaza because I, I am appalled by the length of time that it's taken for the Australian government to respond to the catastrophe and the genocide which is happening in the Gaza Strip and has been happening now for quite some time. The Australian government has chosen now to make a stand to certainly start to express its discontent and frustration that so many lives have been lost. Now, they had the opportunity a year ago, I reckon, to be able to say what they needed to say about the IDF's behaviour in Gaza and, put aside the horrors of October the 7th, 2023, to make a stand just for the sake of humanity. But they failed to do that. And it is my greatest disappointment, I think, in the Albanese government and Penny Wong, that they weren't able to make that stand earlier and they got trapped into the distribution of food into Gaza by UNRWA. And I think it's a disgrace that the Labor government have failed on a humanitarian level the disaster that is now happening in Gaza. So I'm going to read to you the Albanese's latest statement in relation to this, which is a fair and reasonable statement, but which is far too late. And that is my primary criticism. And I can't understand, I must say this, while there are people like Douglas Murray, an absolute clown, why he's still getting airtime on Sky News talking about the Israeli position in Gaza, and that that there is now this focus from the IDF on Hamas, and those people that support Israel are stating that it is Hamas who are causing the deaths in Gaza. Now, I'm not here to argue whether or not that's true or false. I am here to argue that innocent people have died, mainly women and children, for which there is no excuse. And there is no doubt that many of those deaths have been caused by the IDF. And while this has been happening, the world has generally been silent. And we've given time to people like Douglas Murray and others who simply want to support the eradication of the Palestinian people. And it's wrong. So I'll read out what Albanese has said. He says, the situation in Gaza has gone beyond the world's worst fears. The position of the Australian government is clear. Every innocent life matters. Every Israeli, every Palestinian. The conflict has stolen far too many innocent lives. Tens of thousands of civilians are dead. Children are starving. Gaza is in the grip of a humanitarian catastrophe. Israel's denial of aid and the killing of civilians, including children, seeking access to water and food, cannot be defended or ignored. We call on Israel to comply immediately with its obligations under international law. This includes allowing the United States and NGOs to carry out their life-saving work safely and without hindrance. Any proposals for the permanent forced displacement of the Palestinian people must be abandoned. Australia condemns the terror and brutality of Hamas, and we reiterate our call for the immediate release of the remaining hostages. We continue to support all international efforts to facilitate a ceasefire, recognising that an immediate and permanent ceasefire gives the best hope of bringing hostages home and easing the agony of their loved ones. Australia is proud to have strongly supported the creation of the modern state of Israel. Then, as now, the global community envisions two states, the state of Israel and the state of Palestine. Recognising the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people for a state of their own has long been a bipartisan position in Australia. The reason a two-state solution remains the goal of the international community is because a just and lasting peace depends upon it. Australia is committed to a future where both the Israel and Palestinian peoples can live in peace and safety within secure and international recognised borders. Until that day, every effort must be made here and now to safeguard innocent life and end the suffering and starvation of the people of Gaza. Now, it's a good statement, it's true, and Australia has signed a statement by 27 other nations in relation to this. But it's too late. Surely the government must have seen that this was going to happen, that it was inevitable. The behaviour of the IDF and Israel in particular was designed to eradicate the Palestinians from Gaza, to commit a genocide. And there's this other report which I'll bring to you now also, which is around the hunger and the death in Gaza. We have crossed the line. Gaza hunger crisis turns into death spiral. 5 starving children at a Gaza City hospital were wasting away, and nothing the doctors tried was working. The basic treatments for malnourishment that could save them had run out under Israel's blockade. The alternatives were ineffective. One after another, the babies and toddlers died over 4 days. In greater numbers than ever, children hollowed up by hunger are overwhelmingly the patient's friend's hospital, the main emergency centre for malnourished kids in northern Gaza. The deaths last weekend also marked a change, the first seen by the centre in children who had pre-existing conditions. Symptoms are getting worse, with children too weak to cry or move, Dr. Rana Sobar, a nutritionist, said. In past months, most improved despite supply shortages, but now patients stay longer and don't get better, she said. There are no words in the face of the disaster we are in. Kids are dying before the world. There is no uglier and more horrible phase than this, Sobar, who works for the US-based aid organisation Meg Global, which supports the hospital, said. And that's the reality. We're sitting back, ignoring or have ignored for a long, long time what's happening. And as an international community, we seem to be able to do nothing about what's happening in Gaza. And in a way, I think we are complicit. We have been responsible for our ignorance. The fact that we've turned a blind eye for so long as to what Israel was up to condemns us all. And we need to find ways to stop what's happening and then to condemn the Israel leadership for the abuse and the murder and the starvation and the erratic behaviour that has honed in on hospitals, on playgrounds, on childcare centres, on innocent people. I find the whole situation horrific, and there must be something that all of us could do to raise our voices so that the Palestinian people can finally live in safety. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I'll be most interested to hear from you. In the meantime, subscribe, ring the bell for further notifications. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.